Your grocery bill is still high, your rent hasn't dropped, and now there's a war in the Middle East pushing gas prices back up. Sound familiar? Welcome to the Canadian economy in March 2026. This month gave us a lot to unpack. An interest rate decision from the Bank of Canada, a jobs report that turned heads, and a big question mark over what happens to our trade deal with the US. Let's break it all down. The biggest story this month, the Bank of Canada met on March 18th and decided to hold its policy rate at 2.25%. Now, that might sound boring, but here's why it matters to you. The bank has been cutting rates since 2024, and those cuts have started to ease the pressure on Canadians renewing their mortgages. But this month, they hit pause. Why? Two competing forces. On one side, the economy is still weak. GDP actually shrank by 0.6% in the fourth quarter of 2025, and early 2026 data shows growth is picking back up, but more slowly than expected. On the other side, the conflict in the Middle East has sent global oil and gas prices sharply higher, which is going to push up inflation here at home, especially at the pump. So the bank is stuck. Cut rates to help a sluggish economy, and you risk letting inflation run hot again. That's not a fun position to be in. For now, they're watching and waiting. The next rate decision is April 29th. Here's the part that hits closest to home for most Canadians. The job market is getting softer. The unemployment rate climbed to 6.7% in February. That's the highest it's been in a while. And the job gains we saw at the end of 2025, largely gone. The first 2 months of 2026 wiped most of them out. Exports are also weak. Canadian businesses are still adjusting to US tariffs, looking for new suppliers and new markets outside of the US. That restructuring takes time, and in the meantime, it's creating real uncertainty. TD Economics is forecasting real GDP growth of just 1.1% for all of 2026. That's not a recession, but it's not a boom either. It's the kind of slow, grinding year where things feel harder than the headline numbers suggest. There is one silver lining. Inflation was actually at 1.8% in February, below the Bank of Canada's 2% target, so prices aren't running away from us, at least not yet. The Middle East situation could change that. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, our trade deal with the United States. The Canada-US-Mexico agreement, the USMCA, is up for review, and it's a massive wildcard for Canada's economic future. Oxford Economics had been forecasting that most US tariffs on Canadian goods would be removed by the third quarter of this year, but that outcome is looking increasingly uncertain. Steel and aluminum are still facing a 10% US tariff. Ontario and Quebec, the heart of Canada's manufacturing sector, are feeling it the most, with both provinces now expected to grow by less than 1% this year. Meanwhile, Canada's population actually shrank last quarter for the first time since 1946 outside of the pandemic. Fewer non-permanent residents, a tighter immigration policy, and a labour force that's barely growing. Governor Tiff Macklem called it directly this month. Canada is at a crossroads. The era of open, rules-based trade with the US is over. How we respond will define our economic future. So what's the bottom line for everyday Canadians? Interest rates are on hold. Don't expect relief or hikes in the near term. The job market is soft, so if you're job hunting, it may take longer than it would have a year ago. And gas prices are heading up, which means inflation could tick back above that 2% target in the coming months. The federal government is leaning on fiscal spending, infrastructure, defense, internal trade to keep the economy moving. That should help, but it's a slow burn fix, not a quick one. The story of Canada's economy right now is one of resilience through uncertainty. We're not in crisis, but we're not comfortable either. And with the USMCA review, Middle East tensions, and a softening job market all in play at once, staying informed matters more than ever. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe. We do this every month, and the April update is going to be just as important. See you then.